So today I wanted to talk about automatics versus manual cars, powertrains. There's always so many comments that I get and so many messages going like, I can't believe you're a car auto enthusiast and you drive an EV or you drive an automatic. And I get it. It's not like I don't get that argument. I have been watching Formula One for maybe a decade, maybe more. I love powerful V8s and V12s and sports cars. The sound, the raw piston sounds and everything. I don't know what this guy is doing in front of me. And the thing is, I myself drive an automatic. I switched to an automatic. I didn't always have this car. And on top of that, it's an EV. So, I get it. I get why a lot of people are like, how could you do this? It's such a betrayal. And I now also not just switch to it. I also recommend people to switch to it and adopt an automatic gear system. Which is very ironical. Because everyone's like, there's not any better feeling than like gear shifts, rev matches, and like downshifts and all of that. And that is true, like, don't get me wrong. But I think for me it's function over form, not form over function. Like, in the sense, for me, it's utility and convenience that matters the most. Like, I am someone who would really prioritize convenience of driving a vehicle. My family had a lot of manual cars before this, and we had never thought about driving an automatic because we thought they were more expensive. Fixing it would be more expensive. Just any problem in itself with an automatic gearbox, you'd have to like change the entire powertrain, the CVT system. Most of the cars in Nepal are CVT, I think. But here I am. An automatic 1-gear permanent magnet synchronous motor in an EV, and I don't think I could ever go back, at least if I'm driving in Kathmandu and as a daily driver. And before you jump into any conclusions, hear me out. The thing is, Kathmandu traffic is quite tedious. There is always something ahead of you, behind you, to the side of you, and even when you drive on the highway, it's not like you're hitting high speeds and you can like enjoy that smooth gear shift and everything. You are constantly going, stopping. And if you imagine yourself, just think about it, when you drive from your office to your home during rush hour in the morning or in the evening when you come back home, how many times do you go between 1, 2nd, and 3rd gear? Just forget about 4th gear. Forget about even 3rd gear, honestly. Just 1, 2, and 3. How many times do you go between that? How many gear shifts are you doing? How much clutch wear is that? How much are you like not actively thinking once you drive? I know you like passively just do it, but all of that is like energy. And all of that is basically you spending your mental headspace, your capacity to like constantly be switching gears, you know what I mean? And in an automatic, you just don't think about that anymore. Like, you don't think about that at all anymore. I just put it into D, drive, and I go. And then I have an auto hold function on this EV. Most automatics and most EVs too nowadays do come with this auto hold function. And honestly, an uphill, downhill traffic in the city or in a highway, like, it's just become so easy for me. I have both my steering wheels on my hands. Your left hand's completely free. Your left leg is also completely free. Most automatic cars have some form of dead pedal. Like, it's a clutch, but it's just a block there on the side and there's nothing that happens. And yeah, you just drive. Traffic, you just stop and go. On a hill, I'm on a hill right now, you just stop and go. You don't have to worry about balancing the clutch. There's so much of like tension this takes out of, and as a result, you're just doing not the bare minimum, I would say, but you're just driving. And for me, that has been the biggest benefit of driving an automatic and an EV on top of that. An EV in the sense, I don't have to worry about how much fuel I'm burning, even when I'm sitting in traffic in AC, up and down a hill, whatever. I know range is something that I have to think about now, but pick your poison to me, as I've said numerous times in my videos. And I would now just happily drive an automatic in Kathmandu traffic, because most of my commutes are during rush hour and sometimes on the weekends here and there. But even on the weekends, if you do a trip out of the valley towards Tuli Hill or Nagarkot, you will face some sort of traffic or the other, especially when you like come back home in the evening or at night, when you hit the traffic, the congestion on the outskirts of the valley. And for me, it's just become such a no-brainer. Like, during my commutes to office and home in my manual car before, I would come home exhausted after like 30 to 45 minutes of driving across town. And now I come home and I have enough headspace, mental space to still go about and do other things, because this driving isn't as straining as it was before. And so, again, not everyone can afford an automatic because they are more expensive. Not everyone can afford an EV. There are a lot of challenges still for a Nepali consumer to adopt before making the switch. And I understand that manuals are still the most reliable and cheapest, but now that in 2020s there are a bunch of automatic variants to most cars these days, why not give it a try? Because it just removes that extra effort that you need to put into manual during your 90% of office home commutes that you could otherwise use elsewhere. That's my pitch. So anyway, let me know what you think. Please feel free to disagree. Like, I would love if you all disagreed and made comments about what you think about this, why you still prefer manual over an automatic. Go for it. I will most definitely read and maybe get to replying to your comments. If there's any other thing you'd like me to talk about, discuss about, feel free to also mention that down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next vlog.